Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. I greatly appreciate them. This is the All Signs weekly video. Sorry it's coming up a day late or a little bit later than normal, especially for my Patreon subscribers. Normally it would have been up yesterday early, but I'm actually doing it the day it should be released. I'm running behind. I spent all day resting yesterday, like literally sleeping off and on throughout the entire day. I do feel much improved though and needed it. Yesterday was Saturday. So this reading is originally created for Sunday the 12th of February through the 18th. It's not necessarily solely set for those dates. If we're seeing it on a different date and it makes sense, by all means utilize it. Each card should represent for a day or two of the week for you. You may experience all of these cards and then some, or only one of these cards throughout the entire reading. It's a very flexible reading, so take only the stuff that makes sense to you or matches with your intuition, and leave all of the rest. If it doesn't fit, that's okay. It may just not be your reading, so it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong or on the wrong path or anything like that. And I think that's all you need to know. Oh, supporting the channel, please check out the drop-down menus underneath any of my daily readings and my weekly readings. In there tells you a bit about what cards I'm using, things I want you to think about when utilizing the channel, how to contact me on social media or follow me on social media if you choose to do so, and that way you can contact me for a private reading through those sources. There's a Facebook business page or in my Instagram page. And beyond that, please hit the thumbs up button if you enjoy the content, subscribe to the channel, share the video out, or leave me a question or comment. I greatly appreciate all of that. It's great ways to support the channel. So let's see what the cards are today. Alright, so for the beginning of the week, oh my god. I thought for sure, because this is going to be a weekly, we wouldn't see this card. I just can't with this card anymore. I just cannot. The Fountain is about just being. It is Major Arcana. It is the theme of this month. We've seen this card 7 times in 12 days. I'm going to reread the Fountain's definition to you guys again, just because I think we need to remind ourselves of what the definition of this card is. The one good thing is this is a weekly, so we are not going to see it for the rest of this reading. And I don't even have to, the book is on the page, for Christ's sakes. Okay, the Fountain. The Fountain exists outside and beyond the cycles of birth, death, time, and form. It is the nameless, changeless source of which everything is a part. It is the waking from the dream and separate from the dream of separateness and identity, and the recognition of oneself as not only connected to all things, but all things, divine nature. When the Fountain appears in your reading, relinquish all illusion of control and remain quiet. It invites you to observe, masterless, and to just be, effortless and indistinguishable from life. You are the voice and the breath of the universes. So we are very interconnected. This is a card of interconnectivity. If there's anything we're at odds with, just be. Allow it to be. Even if we have opinions that differ from whatever the situation, person, or thing is, allow yourself to connect to it in new, more peaceful, calm ways. We've talked about this Fountain card numerous times this month already. To me, it's about just flowing with the situation and allowing our own true light to emerge. It doesn't necessarily mean we put up a fight or resistance or argument or debate on how we think something should be. Allowing it to just be and understanding that somehow it still connects to us in its very form, the way that it's coming to us, even if it's unpleasant or we don't quite understand it, is part of what this card's meaning is just kind of to just connect and understand there is a bigger picture, there's bigger forces at work right now, and allow yourself to sort of flow and shift with those forces and see where they take you or see what they teach you. Now the midweek card, finally we can see some new cards in this deck. The Nine of Swords. Beautiful card. Nine of Swords often indicates swords is the element of air. It's also our thoughts and how we communicate. The mind realm, our mental realm. The Nine of Swords, nines are about personal completions, but the Nine of Swords often depicts nightmares, fears, running rampant, running wild. With the fountain in the early part of the week telling us to be chill and be cool and just kind of connect and be open to whatever's out there for us, we could find ourselves closing down out of the fountain and going back into our worries and fears by midweek. I mean, that would definitely be Nine of Swords energy, or we could be dealing with somebody else in their fears and worries. The one good thing is that it's a 9 card, which means that, we may have to face these fears and worries and get our ways through them, work our way through them so that we can't be complete with them and move on to, something different, a new way of proceeding or a new way of looking at things, a new way of worrying about things. Let's see the third card. Third card is the Two of Coins. These cards are beautiful, see, and we've been missing them all month so far because the fountain's been hogging everything. I feel like the Two of Coins, the Two of Pentacles is oftentimes, to me, about making a decision. Juggling two options. Which way do I go? What do I do? Which one do I choose? Is this the right one for me? It's that kind of an energy. But when I see this hand reaching up out of the water, it makes me feel slightly different. It makes me feel like we might have to get beyond whatever it is we're thinking, worrying, fearing from that Nine of Swords into some clarity and break free of what our emotions are telling us to be able to make a decision or make a decision. And usually this card shows the coins being sort of out of balance and depicted in that way, where to me it feels like once we get beyond the emotionality of the situation or how we're feeling about the situation, the decision is actually pretty balanced and clear to us. That's the sort of balance that I feel like is going on between these two coins. The interesting thing is there is that infinity symbol on the coins, which is always with the Two of Coins, and we also have it on the fountain. So the fountain being major arcana would be us much more in our feels around a situation at the beginning of the week and learning how to kind of subsist with them or be present with them. Does that make sense? Then midweek clearing away any last minute fears, worries, or looking at those fears and worries, right, through the Nine of Swords. And then by the Two of Pentacles, it looks like, okay, we're coming up out of our emotions and we're making that decision. It's a very clear decision. But it's also balanced to me. And it also ties back to that fountain. That sort of hidden infinity symbol there tells me it ties us back to this fountain. It's been something that we've been contemplating, wrestling, or trying to get right with this entire month, is my feeling. And for some of you that may not make sense, and that's okay. But for some of others of you, it may. And so for those of you that it does or doesn't, please leave me a message in the comments and let me know what you think about that. But I do think that this is how will I say this? I don't feel like this is the easiest of weeks. What I feel like is this is a week for clarity. This is a week for like almost mental inventory and emotional inventory, starting with the emotions and then moving into the mental, and then making decisions that affect our 3D world in ways that will ultimately bring about balance and truth, but we have to kind of go through the emotional, mental aspect of whatever the challenges are this week, or that we've been dealing with up until this point, to free ourselves enough to finally make concrete decisions in our world to affect change, right? And that change will bring about good things, but it may not feel like it right at first, or we may not know how those changes are going to come about. That might feel unsafe, unsure. That could be some of the Nine of Swords influence too. It's like, oh my God, if I make this decision, what's going to happen? What's it going to look like? But by the end of the week, we kind of realize we have to make the decision. If we don't, we stay sort of stuck. We could potentially drown, right, in our feelings or our thoughts or whatever's going on for us. So I don't think we are going to drown. I think we are going to reach up out of our, the well of our emotions and find the decision that we need to make. Now let's look to the healing mantra deck, rewriting the subconscious. Interesting, is coming up out of water here to make this decision. And this fountain is very much like sort of could be subconscious energy and what's emerging from our subconscious, getting to understand where our thoughts take us, what our thoughts create for us through that Nine of Swords this week. It says, the more I embrace feeling good, the less often I will feel bad. I don't get a sense that these are bad feeling cards as much as I feel like these are cards that are kind of teaching us maybe what we think, how we think, where we fit ourselves into our universe. Are we flowing with our universe or are we fighting it? And here's that same card again. The second card is that befriending pain, which I believe was the second card underneath that we saw yesterday too. I feel like this is actually a good week for transformation, internal transformation. And rewriting of the subconscious obviously speaks to that too, right? Where when we start to look at what our thoughts bring us or where we automatically go in our thoughts, is that serving us? And I think that that's where we have to look at, and that's the work in the midweek with the Nine of Swords, is really being challenged by what are our fears? What fears are running for us? Are we making decisions out of fear, right? Because of our subconscious or because of past experiences. Understanding that and transforming that, changing that, and then coming up out of that to make our decisions this week is really sort of the message that I'm getting from these cards. So let's go to rewriting the subconscious. I'm going to read that too. The more I embrace feeling good, the less often I will feel bad. When the subconscious is rewritten, you are able to feel good on a regular basis regardless of the way life unfolds. In rewriting the subconscious, you reverse the gravitational pull of conditioning to become more familiar with the virtues of goodness. As goodness becomes more known, the opposite vibration of negativity can become a less frequent visitor in your reality. This mantra is ideal for relieving guilt, releasing shame, and finding joy in new beginnings. And I think that Two of Pentacles could signify a new beginning too, although it looks like, there's a struggle to get there, or there's been a challenge to work through mentally, and quite possibly emotionally, and a change or an emergence that's been waiting to come out these first 10 or 11 days of February has been waiting to come out, and that's why we keep seeing this fountain card. Allowing things to just be as they are, stop trying to fight them, resist them, change them into something that we think we need them to be, and pivot, move in a different direction, make a different choice, choose a different path, rewrite our subconscious, change our thoughts, and flow in a different direction, if that makes sense. All right, let's look to the clarifiers. We have the Seven of Swords. I'm just going to throw them all out really quick. The Moon. And the World. All right, so the Moon would indicate emotional confusion. That's that hand reaching up out of the water. That's also some of the Nine of Swords nightmare stuff too. The Moon is associated with the signs of Cancer and Pisces, both very psychic, both very intuitive, also both very emotional. Seven of Swords says to me there's something here that's not true. There's either we're lying to ourselves or somebody or something, some situation we've stayed in too long and we've maybe self-betrayed, or we've been betrayed by the situation multiple times, the person, the idea, whatever it is. It's something we have to look at. This is the Death card that we saw in the last two readings too. It's like something has to change here. The only thing that we can ultimately really change is ourselves, and I think that's the meaning of the Fountain card this month, is like we need to look at where we connect in, how we connect in, what are our expectations when we connect in, right? And like the way that we connect in is going to be key. We need to be connecting in for ourselves and ourselves only, is my feeling. Not for the outcome, not for the turnaround, not for the change in the other party or in the situation. It's in seeking the internal change within ourselves, right? And so the Seven of Swords could indicate that yes, we're being lied to, or yes, something has betrayed us in a way. We have to face that betrayal and look at it for what it is. And then work our way through sort of the emotional confusion around it and find the truth in it And that's the dimness of the moon and also this shimmer of light in the fountain. It's like we have to still keep going towards that truth, even if that truth seems antithesis to what we thought it was that we wanted out of this situation, relationship, person, whatever. The world indicates the end of the fool's journey. It's the last card in the major arcana, and to me, it's always a celebration. It's always a graduation. It's a learning. It's an understanding. It's a leveling up. It's a finishing of a chapter. And I think that we finished that chapter too, also with the Nine of Swords there, and with the Two of Pentacles, really. It's like, okay, I need to deal with my thoughts around this situation, this person, this thing, and I need to understand that these thoughts are no longer serving me. And I need to make the choice to release them. And when we do so, even though it may be muddied, emotional, a little bit unclear at first or throughout the week, we do ultimately do so. We end up rewriting our subconscious, changing our thoughts, befriending the pain that we might be feeling around this situation, and graduating, illuminating ourselves, lifting ourselves up to a new beginning or something more on the horizon. Whatever it is that we're choosing, however it is we are choosing, and we can choose to stay, right, in the situation that we may be dealing with, but as we choose, we could also still be very much struggling, is my feeling. So keep that in mind. The struggle will still teach us something. The World card says that, but we don't have to do that if we choose not to, right? We'll just end up seeing this fountain card more and more this month. Here is our grounding stone for the week, and it is Spirit. I feel like this is not only these glass ones that I bought at the store that don't stand up, they're all kind of oblong and weird, so I'm going to place it that way. This is not only spirit, like as in our spirit guides, and reminding our spirit guides that there is a plan at hand, even when we're facing adversity or challenges or being lied to, whatever it may be, or when things get tough, decisions get tough, the work gets tough. We need to understand that there is a higher point to all of this, not only with our spirit guides supporting us, but also our own spirit came here to learn in this physical vehicle through these emotional and mental experiences, right? And so we are not alone in this process. We can do this, we can graduate, we can rewrite our subconscious and our experience and how we manifest or what we manifest, but we also have to tap into the power of our own spirit, our own higher self, or our spirit guides, and ask them for guidance and help this week. They will come through for us. That blue color matches the World card quite nicely, and to me it's kind of like a card of joy and amusement, so try and have a little fun and play in this energy if you can find the ways and means to do so. Just because we think a certain way doesn't necessarily mean we have to always think that way. Is sort of the message that I'm getting here. And once we find that freedom, we really do release our spirit and we're able to live more true to that spirit. That is your reading for the week. Please tune in tomorrow to see the next reading. Thank you all so much. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Leave me a question or comment if these readings are making sense. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.